So this video is about the pillars of losing weight, losing 10, 20, 30 pounds of fat from your body while actually looking like you work out, because you don't just want to become a little small shell of yourself like most people online are teaching. People are literally telling you just to go lose all this weight, but don't give you a remedy for actually building muscle at the same time, because we're not here to look like just people who have a victim weight and are walking around at 160 or whatever, 170 when we're 6'2" or 6'3", for example. It's all proportionate to your height, but yeah, we're trying to actually look really good, look like Greek gods. So why would you just come and try and lose all this weight but not have a plan for building muscle? This is what I'm going to talk about in this video. And here are the principles for losing weight. The very first one is that you have to be in a caloric deficit. And yeah, you hear this all the time and very often. However, this is supposed to be deliberate in the amount of calories you're supposed to eat. When I was actually gaining weight, for example, I ate in a surplus. I ate my body weight times 20. And I ate this every single day, and it put on 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of muscle per week. Yeah, there was some fat that was put on, but when I did my first weight gaining phase, I did exactly this. Now, if you want to cut weight, you have to eat your body weight times about 11, 12, 13. Okay? Depends on your actual body composition. So if you have any questions, let me know. Just contact me and I can help you with that. But if you're really overweight, you have to eat your body weight times 10 in calories. Okay, that's the first thing. How are you going to be able to track that? Well, you should go and download a tracker, a fitness tracker like MyFitnessPal. Just keep it simple. Put in the daily calorie target in MyFitnessPal, and then that is how you're going to track your calories. You should also know, on this journey of getting lean, of getting ripped and trying to lose all this fat, you should know how many calories are in each item of food that you eat. And this is the next point, is you're supposed to eat whole foods and track the whole food diet that you're on now in MyFitnessPal. You should know how many calories are in an egg. You should know the macros that you're eating, because not just about the calorie intake, it's also about what the calorie distribution is, the macro distribution, right? Now, the next point is that you should have the macro distribution within MyFitnessPal set at around 40 to 45% carbs, 30 to 35% protein, and 15 to 20% of fat. I know you're thinking, why would I want a lot of carbs, and why would I want these carbs to be in my diet? Well, look, you need carbs to be able to have the amount of energy to actually build muscle while you're losing fat, because you're going to be in a state where you're exercising hypertrophy. This will come later in the video. You're going to be in a state where you're trying to build muscle after you've done all the other steps. Okay, so you need a certain amount of carbs in your diet for your body to actually be able to recruit the amount of energy that's necessary for you to actually gain muscle. We're not trying to look like some skinny little guys out here, guys. We're trying to be big. We're trying to be as big as possible while also being able to see our abs. Okay, guys? So now the next part is, now that you're tracking your macros and you have the macro distribution within the MyFitnessPal app, you need to now be cooking your own food. You need to be not just out here eating out because you don't know how people are cooking your food and in what kind of oil they're cooking your food. Okay, guys, you need to stop cooking your food in tons of oil, because you might be eating and wondering, why in the world, even though I'm eating less, why am I not losing weight? Why can't I see my abs? I've been on this freaking program for 4, 5, 6 weeks. I don't see any difference. It's because you're eating so much oil in your foods that you don't even realize that this is causing that blanket layer of fat just to stay there and accumulate. Fat accumulates, fat cells grow. They're created and they multiply and they grow, but they don't disappear. They just shrink. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to be sleeping and controlling your sleep cycles. You see, if you're sleeping at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., you're just destroying your body's hormonal balance. You see, there's a hormonal imbalance that you will have and you will suffer from when you are going to bed very late. You see, our body has a circadian clock, a specific rhythm that is naturally programmed into your body to wake up in the early morning and go to bed earlier in the evening. But for various reasons, people go to bed late, and definitely this is something you need to cut out of your life. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to do is be eating at least 3 or 4 times a day. This is not advantageous for you to eat once a day or twice a day. No, guys, this will make you have so much more cravings and make you more susceptible to relapsing. What I mean by relapsing, it's going and seeing some tacos and not being able to control yourself from eating them. Saying, hey, I want to have this burger. I want to have this In-N-Out double or 3, 4, 5 of them. This will literally cause you to stop gaining progress and put you back to where you started really, really fast. So you definitely need to be eating multiple times a day to keep your body satiated and to keep your body feeling like it is satisfied with the amount of food that is currently inside of it. Now, this means that you should be eating about between every 4 and 6 hours, and you should be eating mainly protein. Okay, protein fills the body up more. Again, don't stray away or veer off of the path that you're on MyFitnessPal. Again, this is very important. Okay, now the next point is that you need to be doing low intensity cardio. What does this mean? You know, when we're doing cardio, when we're doing anything, our hearts are beating at a certain rate, and you need to have your heart beating at 110 at the very minimum while you're walking. Being on the Stairmaster and having it beat at 140, 150, between 130 and 150 is different. But you need to be doing low intensity cardio. So you need to be doing walking. You need to be going on walks, taking a walk before you eat and after you eat. In the morning and in the evening, you can mix it up however you want to. But this low intensity cardio will make it feel as though you are not expending too much energy, and you're going to need energy for the next part. Okay? The energy that you need to have after you do your cardio is the energy that is needed for building muscle. Again, I said earlier, we don't want to be out here looking skinny and just looking like emaciated shells of who we really could be. You see, we really want to be looking like we actually go to the gym. And if you just lose weight, you're not going to look that way. You're not going to have that aesthetic physique. You're not going to have the protruding body parts, so to speak. You're just going to look like a skinny guy. And I'm no offense to anybody like that, but this is not what you want. If you're watching this video, you want to look like you have some muscle, and people will definitely start to compliment you and notice when you're in that kind of bodily state. So you definitely have to be weight training. So this is the next step. You have to be weight training and get on a hypertrophy program, right? You have to be progressively overloading the muscle every time you work out. And you have to do this consistently. This is all about consistency, guys. And when you are walking at a certain cadence throughout the day, I'm not talking about getting steps, and I'm talking about getting in structured cardio, then you will be able to have enough energy to build muscle, right? And you should be going to the gym, at least 5 times a week. Some people are able to go to the gym for 3 days a week and maintain the muscle that they have. But if you really want to take your body to the next level, if you really want to take your body and change it completely, or people walking by and you're turning heads, you need to go to the gym about 5 days a week, right? If you're genetically gifted, maybe 4 days a week. Okay? This is something you need to be dedicated to doing. You can't just slack off on, and it has to be a lifestyle. This is not a fly-by-night thing. This is not a one-time thing, guys. All right? It's not a one-time thing. Now, The next thing is that you need to realize that you drinking juices is something that is a no-no. You have to cut this out because juices contain so many calories. So many calories. And also the foods that you eat, the little snacks you buy, whatever you get in the convenience store, they underestimate the amount of calories that are in these things. So you may look at the label and think you're eating this amount of calories, but you really aren't. Not to mention the fact that their ingredients, you can't even read. The ingredients are literally things that your body cannot process. So you eating whole foods is so important. It's imperative for you to eat whole foods because you know exactly what that ingredient is. You know exactly what it consists of. Now you look at the packaging on most foods nowadays, and they contain hypertrigamine, glycerol. They contain all these kinds of things that you would need to be a doctor to understand. And that just goes to show you how much of a red flag these things are when you're eating them. And it goes to show you how much more you need to be conscious of what you eat and what you drink. So no more juices, guys. Instead, drink carbonated drinks that have no calories, right? And that have no sugars. One thing I like to drink is carbonated water. It makes you feel full. It makes you feel like you're drinking some kind of soda. I only drink sodas. I would only drink carbonated water and water. Also, get used to drinking water. That's another step. Drink more water, and more water. Your muscles need water to grow in the gym. There are so many little tips and tricks and idiosyncrasies in the art of getting down, getting lean, getting ripped, and getting rid of all that body fat. But if you don't, actually take the advice of people who know what they're talking about, you're not going to really change at all. You're going to stay in the same state that you've been in for all these years, and it's going to be a bad thing for your health overall. So if you need help, let me know. Just contact me or whatever. Link in the description, guys. And yeah, stay on it, guys. You're going to get there. Just be diligent. Okay? That's been the video, and I'm out.